share your screen out, but when you start streaming, Greg, your Discord might go into streamer mode and you'll lose all the names. It'll only give you the first letter. And you get a purple bar at the top. All you do is just disable streamer mode.
Well, okay. Yeah. So far, it's not doing it.
Yeah. You just like Jay on Joysticks and Chill, he was saying, I can't see the names. I don't know who's done this because we're in streamer mode.
I wonder, because we're not going in streamer mode. We're just doing a video chat and then...
Yeah.
I'll mute my phone. That will do.
Oh, all right. That's what that was. Gotcha. Had a weird noise pop up. I figured out what it was.
And I'll pull up
Why is it not showing online for me?
Watch me Twitch. Do you have that sound effect?
I have it, but not on me.
Criminal.
Oh, our voice is live already.
There we go.
Yep, we sound good.
I just heard myself.
Thank you very much. Nice.
I've got it on my OneDrive.
Let me just mute I forgot to mute my phone.
Oh, hey, look, Luis is already in there.
Shit. Now we have to stop.
I know, right? Everybody hide. Luis is here.
All right. I suppose we can do this. Let's go. Come on, people.
Okay.
Let's do this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly? I think we're just getting started.
Medic!
I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 831 of the Overseas Connection podcast. Today, April 13th, 2025, and we officially are in the future, and the tax man cometh. I am one of your humble hosts, Greg DeLacy, gamertag Murphy's Law, OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. And joining me today, no, not really. Joining me today, this is new, people. We're on Discord. It's craziness. We had to make the change, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. So there we go. It's already happened. And so, yeah, if there's any hiccups, blame Mark. He forced this upon us, as well as Microsoft. All right. On the show, Mark Hannix, Mark Wright.
Hello, Greg.
Mark.
Hello, everyone. Yeah,
Are you feeling a little like verklempt? I mean, is this an emotional moment for you that we're using Discord?
I feel like a proud dad at the moment. Like you've embraced it. And Greg, this is Greg early today.
Yeah, I just shit my pants.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it took us for like a good 15, 20 minutes. We're sitting in Discord. We're doing the setups, and my microphone is just not working. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Well, it turns out that the microphone volume is an important thing. Who would have thunk?
Yes.
Anyway, also on the show, Miss Kim Woods.
Howdy. Yep, I'm here at GamerGirl27 pretty much everywhere. And I also had the microphone thing. Me and Mark were discussing it when you went off. Apparently mine was low. Not like that, but I had everything backwards. My earbuds were my microphone. My microphone was apparently my earbuds, but we're sorted out now. So anyway, carry on.
I shall carry on to Mr. Matthew, Christopher Matthew, on the show.
Then Central Time Zone is checking in. Carry on, my wayward son from Kansas. Hello, everybody. Glad to be here. I also have had the microphone issues, although I learned it trying to play some games Friday night with some friends, and they couldn't hear me talk. But we figured it out. Okay.
There's an important question to ask, Mr. Matthew. People want to know, have you killed Robin and just taken his place?
You've never seen Robin and I in the same place at the same time. So
this is true.
There's a non-zero possibility that we're the same person, just with a different accent.
All right. Well, there we go. Shout out to Robin Tate, who we miss you, Robin. We would love to hear from you. He pokes in every now and then to the chat. That's about it. Anyway. All right. On to the business at hand. This is a video game podcast. We're going to talk about video games. We're going to talk about life full of energy, because that's what we bring. Energy, old person energy. It's like nothing you've seen before. It's going to be huge. We are on Twitch. We are on YouTube. We do this every Sunday, 8 p.m. in the UK, 12 p.m. on the West Coast, 3 p.m. in the East Coast. And if you happen to be in, I can't think of a good city, but I'll just say Ontario, 2 p.m. Central Time Zone, Canada. I don't know if Ontario is actually in the Central Time Zone. I don't really know that. Mr. Matthew, I know you're going to fact check me on this, so I appreciate it.
I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure no, because that's sort of just north of New York.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. That tracks. Okay. I think that's pretty much everything. No birthdays to speak of. Nobody was born except for my niece. My niece did celebrate her birthday on Friday. Shout out to Ashley. She's now a mom of 2. It's craziness.
Wow.
So Ashley, you will never hear this, but all right.
Yeah, but she's not the alone who's never going to hear that.
I was gonna say, did anybody else hear that?
It came in pretty low. It's Mark's fault.
I'll save you there, Greg.
I appreciate it. By the way, laughing a little bit as I'm looking at the chat and I see all these shout outs at Boomer, and I'm like, I am not a Boomer, damn it. I am a Gen Xer.
Gen X.
All right, let's get into some story time.
You want me to do it?
Everyone here loves story time, our favorite time of the day.
Mark, this is a professional podcast. We never have glitches. We never have hiccups.
Right, okay.
I'm looking forward to this.
Very nice.
It will happen.
We're all gonna have a soundboard, and we'll just see who can make the most ridiculous sound effect.
It really, I think, ultimately, it will not come from a soundboard. It will just come from one of us verbally. Okay. Mark, since you're so boisterous right now, let's talk about what's been going on in your neck of the woods. How are the tariffs treating you? How's life? What's going on?
Tariffs not affected me just yet, but cost of living's through the roof anyway, so what's a few extra 20% on top? So we've had my granddaughter stay this weekend, as you guys met last night.
Yes.
She's very talkative. Mia, she's 9 years old now, and she was dying to see the Minecraft movie. But I didn't want to go to the cinema with her because there's a lot of stuff going around online about what's happening when people go see Minecraft the movie at the cinema. And particularly there's a scene where there's a little zombie on a chicken.
Right. Jockey.
And then they all throw popcorn in the air and all sorts of crap anyway. So I managed to source some sort of stream to download it last night. I think it was a pre-production one because some of the CGI wasn't complete. You know, like some of the textures weren't right. And some of the green screen action, you can see a lot of cloudiness. But it was watchable and she enjoyed it. I thought the movie was absolute fucking garbage. It was shocking. A lot of nods to Minecraft.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Being that it's a Minecraft movie.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean? There's a lot of fan service to the game.
Okay.
So, in particular, I don't know if you've heard about this. There was a young lad who used to do a lot of streaming on Minecraft, and he was, I think he had the most wins in this online battling thing. And his character was always a pig with a crown. And unfortunately, the poor kid got cancer and passed away a couple of years ago. And he had a massive following, and they paid homage to that in the movie.
That's nice.
That was a nice touch. And there's little things like there's a lot of like Easter eggs in it. But the actual movie itself, oh god, I thought it was absolute dire.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I believe Lewis is with you. It was very meh for him, but again,
has he seen it? Yeah.
Younger generation seems to love it.
Yeah.
And definitely a generational thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Minecraft the movie done.
Minecraft the movie, yeah. So yeah, I don't really want to go too far in that because it's not very good. Started a new TV series because we're caught up in everything now, and it's on Amazon Prime. Yeah, The Bondsman. This is one with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I was going to say Kevin Bacon. I've been kind of itching to check this out.
Yeah, so Yeah, so far it's not too bad. We're only 2 episodes in. They're only
Okay.
30 minutes each episode as well. So it's not too
Digestible.
much to take in. Yeah, and the basic premise is a bounty hunter. And in the very first episode, there's no spoilers because this is the whole point of it and it's in the trailers. He gets killed in the first episode, but when he comes back, and unbeknownst to him, the devil's brought him back to be a bounty hunter catching demons.
Okay.
And it sort of goes on from there. So yeah, quite a bit of fun, quite gory, some good action. So one of his characters is his mum. I think he lives with his mum, and she was part of the bounty hunter business of GOT. But she's getting involved now. She wants to go with him, and she's an old woman, and I don't understand that bit why he's letting her go with him when he's going after demons. But there you go. So whether he don't want to put her in a home when she gets older.
They're not embracing ageism, Mark. It's equal rights for everybody.
I know, but would you take your poor old mum on a demon bounty hunt, knowing that she could get killed?
Depends on how much I
you
like my
want to
mom.
protect her. Exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I mean, does she have any useful demon hunting skills? Some magical items? I mean,
well, she's a bit like him. She's pretty good with a shotgun. So by what I've seen so far, so
hey, 2 shooters is better than 1.
This is true.
But like I say, we've only just got to the point now where he's accepted his fate and he's now gonna go after this demon. So yeah, it's pretty good so far.
All right.
Yeah, that's about it really for TV and movies. We've had some really nice weather this week. Spring has definitely sprung over here. My grass has started shooting up, so got the old lawnmower out yesterday for the first time this year. Did the old grass cutting. Absolutely shattered afterwards because it was quite deep. So yeah, that's been done. That's about it really.
Okay.
Busy with work.
All right. Well, sounds lovely. Sun is out. Sun's out. The gun's out. Just saying. Kim. Speaking of guns.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Right. Still got a cold. You could probably kind of tell a little bit. So that being said, I had a dentist appointment this week, but I canceled it and then come to find out he's like, well, we can't get you in until July. He's like, but we want to see you before then. So he put me on the call list that if somebody cancels, he can get me in. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. Like Mark said, spring is here. And on the lawn mowing bit, as you all know, my dad, but the lawnmower, he actually mowed the yard this past week. So missed it for the podcast. So I guess we'll have to live with that. Because, usually he's pretty good about mowing it on Sunday, right? When we're
right outside your window, yeah.
right. But not this time, so. With it being spring, of course, that also means, even though I'm in the process of trying to get all my female cats spayed, we do have a couple that slipped by my watch, because I have quite the few, so it's going to take me a while. And they had kittens. So I know of 4 kittens right now to be sure of, because she had them in my dog Percy's doghouse. He, of course, passed away over the winter. So the cats have taken over his pen in his doghouse, and one of the mama cats decided to have her kittens in it. So there's 4 little kittens in there now. And I guess other than that, I bought Baldur's Gate again on Steam this time. So it's
she's obsessed.
You're Kim. You are the consumer that a company like Sony sees, and they realize, no, we can just sell the same game to them over and over again. This is foreshadowing, people, by the way. So, yeah.
But at least it's a good game. It's not The Last of Us, part 355.
Hey, The Last of Us is a good game.
I guess it's not my.
Even when it's been remastered 3 times.
The worst part is Kim's not even getting remasters. She's just buying the same game over and over and over again.
Although, to be fair, I've only bought it twice. I bought it for the Xbox and then I bought it on Steam. And to be fair, Steam's got more mods than the Xbox currently has, so that's kind of what I'm looking at.
You want the jiggly wiggly mods?
Well, I don't know. I don't want that weird ass mod where they give Withers boobs.
Yeah, she wants boobs on Withers.
That's
who doesn't?
No, I
me.
Right.
It's a bit scary.
Right? A little bit. I mean, at least give me a mod where you could put a nose on the poor fella or something. But anyway.
Yeah, it looks like the guy from Fallout, doesn't it? Goggins' character. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does look a bit like a Fallout 4
ghoul.
Yeah.
Ghoul, yeah.
Or the Crypt Keeper. Remember the Crypt Keeper?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Was it Creep
anyway,
Show?
So that's it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tales from the Crypt.
Yes, Tales from
Tales
the Crypt.
yes.
Yeah,
I
Creep
want
Show
to say there was Creep Show as well, wasn't there?
Creep Show was before Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
But it was a similar kind of.
All right. Well, speaking of
Yeah,
Tales from the Crypt,
Lewis agrees with me. He says Last of Us is a fantastic game, and I agree. It was my game of a generation for
I don't want to break out the band hammer on the chat, but if we need to.
Right?
Look,
just kidding.
Greg.
No, it is a fantastic movie.
It's been 10 years or something now, and it get over the knife blocks, please.
I can't. I really can't get over the knife blocks. Never will. Mr. Matthew, what's been going on with you?
So the heat is on. So last week the heat was off. I'm going to say the heat is on for now. So you're welcome for the earworm. So we had the heat fail at the beginning of February, and then someone came and we live in Army housing, so the housing company came and fixed it. And then we had it fail again sometime last week, and so they came and fixed it. And then it failed again, and so they came and fixed it. And then failed again over the weekend. No, doesn't matter. We had them out twice this week, and now it finally has been working for more than 48 hours. So,
but in April, do you need the heat?
Well, so funny story, because yesterday we got snow in April. So here in upstate New York, the spring does some funny things. It's not uncommon to have snow on the daffodils. But so most of the spring flowers are coming up, and now they're all dead because we got snow yesterday. So that was great. That was great. Yeah, a lot like that. Okay. Just depends on which way the wind's coming. So yesterday I was helping out. Yesterday was the annual community yard sale. Our community has a 1 day a year. We get. The surrounding communities are allowed to come into the installation without identification. We get support from the military police for traffic control, and it's like, this is the day to do your yard sale. So I was helping out with a yard sale to raise money for one of the youth groups that our kids go to, and we were thinking, man, nobody's showing up today. It's snowing. It's 20 degrees outside, but the people will come out to find some cheap stuff. The people
yard
will come
sales,
out
man.
to find some
It's
cheap
a thing.
stuff. Yeah. So we did manage to sell a lot of stuff, but we sold it in the snow. We had just 6 or 7 of those 10 by 10 Coleman pop-ups all strung together. Looked like some kind of tailgating camp before a big match. Yeah. Right. So the heat is on. The snow is melting. Allegedly, we're going to get spring tomorrow, maybe winter on Tuesday. Who knows? That's April in New York.
Okay. Mark, by the way, I can't remember. Do you guys do yard sales?
No, not really.
Okay.
You don't ever have a thing where you just have a bunch of stuff in your house you need to get rid of, and
trying to sell
you
it
go
to
in your
people
yard and sell it?
A lot of people have car boot sales. So you'll go to a field, what's being organised. You'll pay like an entrance fee for a pitch, and you'll set up like a decorating table and flog all your stuff that way. Or people just flog it on eBay or Facebook. But yeah, no, we don't have yard sales. We used to do years and years ago when we were kids, but it doesn't happen now. With communist Britain, you'd probably get arrested for not having a frigging license to sell shit on your own property.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even think about that.
It's getting like North Korea over here.
That's why you gotta just do it at the back of the house.
Yes,
but then it's not on the road and nobody will see it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, we had someone that was advertising. So we love Lego in this house. We have lots and lots of Lego. Someone advertised when we lived near Washington D.C. this Lego bulk sale. I'm like, oh, cool. We'll go check it out. And they were like, we'll be in this shopping strip thing. Like, all right. So we go, and we can't find them. And it turns out they're around back. And so they've just set up some tables around back. And I'm like, either we're going to get some cheap Lego or we're going to get murdered. I guess we're going to go find out which. And luckily we came away with some cheap Lego.
Yeah. We're going to sell it out by the van behind the building. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you start to wonder where you came across these cheap Legos.
Yeah, if I'm ever going to get kidnapped, it's going to be a van that says free Lego on the side. That's
Matthew. Don't ask, don't tell. All right. Well, I guess that leaves me. So I will start by saying definitely springtime is here. It's going to hit 81 degrees today. Potentially going to hit the pool today. Fired up the solar heater midweek, and yesterday it was 78 degrees. So as long as it hits 80, I think I can convince my son to get in the pool, and he'll have a blast. So, but yes, you're welcome, Mark. Sun is out, shining, beautiful day. Daredevil Born Again. I'm sorry, what was that?
I got a question for you.
Yes.
How much convincing does young Colin need for getting in the pool?
None. He loves
my
the pool.
kids.
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
We would go to the pool in April, and the water temperature would be, it was not heated, and the water temperature would be maybe 65, 70 degrees.
That's rough.
And they're jumping right in. They're like, "Come on, Dad." I'm like, I don't know. You look like you're having fun though. We'd have to pull them out of the pool, lips turning blue. Like, come on, guys, you're about to have hypothermia. Yeah, kids don't need convincing.
Yeah, my wife needs a lot of convincing. She has made it emphatically clear that unless it's like closer to 90 degrees, she's not getting in the pool. So, but no, Colin loves the pool. So we went out yesterday. I let him dip his feet in, and he was just ready to dive in. I'm like, no, not yet. Dad's not ready for this yet. So Daredevil Born Again, turns out I think there's 9 episodes in the series this year. So that's the good news, because I thought it was ending on a cliffhanger and I was just gutted. I was like, no. But no, there's one more episode. So really good. I cannot say enough about Daredevil Born Again. I've been very much enjoying it. The Bondsman, by the way, is on my watch list. I'm
Mine too, yeah.
very excited for that now that you've kind of described it to me a little bit. So, okay.
Both me and my wife are both Kevin Bacon fans. So yeah, he's good in it. So,
it's good to see him back, though. He's kind of been missing. So
yeah, he's done a few little things, hasn't he? Like smaller roles in some movies.
But given how we're all like 7 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon, you would just think he'd be doing more. All right.
Well, you see him a lot over here because he does. There's a mobile phone network called EE over here, and he does all their adverts. So he's on our TVs all the time over here.
Okay, that's like Ryan Reynolds and was it? I forgot the name of the Boost. No, not Boost Mobile.
No, Mint.
Mint Mobile. Yeah. He's like every other commercial. It seems like it's Ryan Reynolds these days. All right, peanut butter and banana pancakes. Just want to throw this out there. So I made this up for my son this morning. Standard pancakes. If you can make them fluffy, all the better. But take like a big tablespoon of, it's got to be creamy peanut butter. Can't do the peanut butter with nuts. And it can't be the original style that does a lot of the oil separation. So go with like a Skippy. It's perfect. Throw that into the microwave for 30 seconds. You want to get that the peanut butter melted down to where it's just like gooey liquid. And then add in maple syrup, whisk it together, and then you just take some cut bananas, you top the pancakes with it, pour over the peanut butter and maple syrup combination. It is next level. I was like, oh, yeah, very tasty. Especially if you like peanut butter. It's a nice way to get it into a pancake without completely drying out your mouth. But yeah, so we had those this morning, and I just wanted to share. It's just, it's almost like caramel, like the way it ends up on the pancakes. And then lastly, I got a jury duty notice.
Did you get this before? I'm sure you've talked about this before.
Yes, they love me, so this is my official jury's summons.
Right.
In the past, I have been pretty good about either ignoring it
last time.
or checking it out and seeing if I actually have to serve. Last time I did, I called up, I did the whole song and dance every day, calling at 5 p.m. And turns out they didn't need me. But this year, I am absolutely. We have a saying in this house. Let me just say this: Colin pays his way. And so my son, he has special needs. He has a lot of challenges, and it's taxing on Cindy and I. But Colin comes with a lot of perks. And one of those perks happens to be calling up his doctor saying, can I get a note to get out of jury duty because it would be an undue burden to the family. I have served on a jury before, mind you, so I've done my duty. So, yeah, I got the note.
Yep, I understand this. I have the same kind of perk. So
Yes.
at times. Yeah. So
I want to do it, and I've never been called up.
So, the challenge is you never know what case you're going to get thrown onto. And Mr. Matthew, I don't know, have you ever served on a jury?
I haven't, because I've been in Uncle Sam's army since I was 18, and unless I'm stationed in my home county where it can be, whatever. So I've been summoned once, and I sent them back a thing that said I'm stationed out of state, and they have never. But I have done military. I've never served on a court martial, but I have done several where I'm in charge of the hearing in military discipline cases.
Oh, interesting.
That's a completely different experience because you're judge and jury in that, right? So
Right.
I've done several of those. In fact, I have one coming up soon. Not looking forward to that at all.
Okay. Mark, I would just say this. Careful what you wish for, because a lot of the cases, especially if it's civil, it's going to be likely very boring.
Yeah, my mum did it about 10 years ago, and she got a couple of good cases, but she said some of them were so boring. One of the jury members fell asleep, and the judge stopped proceedings. They wouldn't let anyone wake them up, and they waited until this guy woke up, and I think it was 10 whole minutes, and they fined him so much per minute he was asleep.
Wow.
Contempt of court. Yeah, he never fell asleep again.
Yeah, I was lucky. I did serve on a drug case, so we got to put away a drug dealer. He claimed he wasn't selling drugs, but he had enough paraphernalia and over 100 different little plastic baggies, which, if you know drug dealers, that's kind of a telltale sign of them not just using for personal use. Anyway, but yeah, I have no desire to serve on a jury again. So anyway,
two questions for you, Greg. One's from Lewis, playing skills. It says, "How's the new foldable TV in the backyard?" And I want a faucet update as well, please.
So the foldable TV, that was a video I found. I think it was on Twitter. They were showing off this TV that it was coming up out of the ground, and it expanded. It had to have been 100 inches wide, and it was like panels that folded out, but then they became seamless. I mean, it was nutty crazy, and yes, I would love to have that in my backyard. However, I don't make enough money.
Grand or something.
Yeah, I do not make enough money to buy that TV, regardless of what Snoogans will try and tell you. So yeah,
faucet.
It'd be nice.
You get that sorted?
Say it again.
Your faucet? Did you get that sorted?
No. So April 20th, they're shipping out the spout. And once we get that shipped, then we'll be able to. So we're making do with just the one sink in the bathroom, which it's fine. It's fine. It's just it's getting used to having to share a sink again. That's probably the funniest part.
So I think we're all invested in your bathroom now.
I'll bring you along for the
soap
ride.
opera.
Yeah. All right. Let's transition to some video games.
Today I feel like playing computer games. Today I feel like playing computer games.
Kim, you have been a busy beaver. You have you've done your homework. Let's talk about the games that are coming out that are usually part of a service that says it's free, but we pay for it.
Alrighty. I'll just go ahead and start with PlayStation Plus games, even though I already mentioned them. But anyway, we've got RoboCop, Rogue City, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Digimon Story, Cyber Sleuth, Hacker's Memory. On to Game Pass for this month, and some of these are already out now, so you already know about them. I'm going to go through them anyway. We have All You Need Is Help. Yeah, tell me about it. Have you seen my Baldur's Gate addiction? Anyway, Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition.
I hear the
Waits
Beatles,
Deep,
by the
which
way.
Marcus played. You hear the Beatles.
All you need is help. No.
Still Wakes the Deep.
That's love.
It's
But...
I know
Oh,
it's
I
love,
didn't know
but
that
it's
was-
just help. Yeah.
I didn't know Still Wakes the Deep is new to Game Pass because it's been out a couple of years, hasn't it? The game itself.
Well, yeah, it's new on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Wargroove 2. What I recommend is Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls Ultimate Evil
Good
Edition.
game.
I liked Diablo 3
Yeah.
back in the day. Well, actually, I say that back in the day. I didn't actually play it till it had already been out for a while, but I still enjoyed it very much. A new one that's out is South of Midnight, which I think we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Commandos Origins. Blueprints, which I got series on here. I just didn't get it deleted. But anyway, Blueprints, which I think Sarah's played a little bit of, and she seems to be liking it. So, NHL 25 is out on EA Play. GTA 5. I didn't realize that was out on Game Pass, but all right.
It was a while ago, but it's come back again. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, that shows what I know. Hunt Showdown 1896.
Good game.
Tempo. I guess we're gonna go with that. One I'm kind of looking forward to is Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which will be out eventually, and Towerborn, which is another new one that will be out soon. And of course, with the new ones coming in, we're gonna lose a few. We've got Botany Manor, which I know a lot of people liked, but it bored the ever-living hell out of me. Coral Island, Harold Halibut, Homestead Arcana, and Kona. So there you. Oh wait, there's some more. I forgot. I didn't scroll down far enough. Orcs Must Die 3. I'm sure Greg will be disappointed on that one. You might just have to buy it. And Turbo Golf Racing. So, on to Prime Gaming for April. We have Mafia Definitive Edition, Minecraft Legends, Gravity Circuit, Paleo Pines, Clouds and Sheep 2, Dreadout 2, Endless Space, God's Trigger. Apparently he's got a trigger now. Who knew? New York Mysteries, Power of Art Collector's Edition, Projection, First Light, Far Away, Director's Cut, Gloomhaven, The Last Spell, Fashion Police Squad. Yeah, they wouldn't like me. They'd see all my t-shirts and be like, oh, that's a fail. Genesis Noir, Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, Berserk Boy. Alrighty. The Last Show of Mr. Chartish. Sure. Wild Country, Thief Gold, Troublemaker, Kraken Academy, and Priest Simulator Vampire Show. Sure.
Okay.
For Epic Games for the rest of this week and then into next, we have River City Girls for this week and Botanicula. Okay, there you go. Whatever the hell that is. It's like botany, so it's like a plant vampire.
That's what I was going with. Plant Vampire.
Yeah, plant vampire. So those are your free games.
Yeah, Prime Games, ungodly big list. That's a lot.
It seems like there always is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Admittedly,
okay.
that goes all month long, so you know.
Yeah, those
Not
are all
out
releasing
Friday
out
night,
at different
but-
times through the course of the month. But
Yes.
anything in particular, Mr. Matthew, off of all of this list that you're looking forward to?
Oh, Fashion Police Squad for sure. Right. Not really. I like Amazon Prime Gaming has a very long list here, but nothing that I'm all that excited about. If I'm honest.
Not even Vampire Priest or whatever the hell that was.
Just saying.
Now, if it was Abraham Lincoln
Simulator.
Vampire Hunter, I might be down for
Right?
Abraham.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I do feel like that is a bit of a a bait and switch kind of title. Priest Simulator. I'm thinking I'm going to be giving communion, and suddenly I'm, the Vampire Show.
Yeah, right.
So, Mark, anything on the list that out of all of them, it doesn't have to just be Amazon, mind you.
Just to one really on the Xbox. Well, I'm going to be playing it on PC hopefully. The Game Pass is South of Midnight. I've actually got it downloaded, but I've not started it yet. That's the only one I'm interested in. All that lot.
And Kim, lastly, any big thoughts for you?
South of Midnight looks really good. I just, have to get myself away from Baldur's Gate. Expedition 33 looked really good when they did the deal on it here a few months back. So
Can't remember what's about.
That is, if I remember correctly, the general theme of it is every year there's a clock tower that basically there's I'll say a witch. I don't know technically who the person is, but basically they put up a number, and the number coincides with anybody the age of that number in that year will be killed.
All right.
And basically, so the expedition goes out. They're trying to go out and stop the witch and stop the killing of people of age 33, which apparently they are. That's my guess on the last part there. But Yeah, it looks pretty
That was
interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
All right. You would think, by the way, Commandos Origins would be a game right up my alley, but I'm not the biggest the Commandos games, because they're not turn-based tactics. They're real-time tactics, which it's just they control just odd to me. There's been several different games. They have a couple Western versions of the same kind of gameplay where you basically control your character in real time. You can give orders to do things, but ultimately all of the enemies, everything's happening continuously. So you don't get that pause to really kind of map out the tactics and kind of guide your squad how you want. Anyway, so, but yeah, we're going to talk about South of Midnight, as a matter of fact, right now. So, Mr. Matthew, you and I, we have played South of Midnight, so I thought it was appropriate. Maybe we start talking about South of Midnight.
Good place to start.
Yeah, So, what are your general? Well, I guess premise of the game: young girl gets in I think it's Baton Rouge, Louisiana, kind of area. Although I don't think it's Baton Rouge. I can't remember the name of the city, but it's
Prospero, I think is the name of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a real place or not. I didn't look it up.
I'm imagining not, but
yeah.
Hazel's the main character. Her mom is swept away in a giant hurricane, and basically that begins your adventure to go find your mom or try and rescue your mom, which you just have to put a little bit of your beliefs aside, because let's face it, if a house is swept up in a hurricane flood, it's not staying together and just floating down with her inside of it being all safe and sound.
It's a houseboat.
Yeah,
or a boathouse.
But okay, I know you had some general thoughts on the game, so let's talk through it. What do you like? What do you not like?
I think it's an excellent piece of storytelling. I have not. I think I'm about halfway through, maybe. I don't know how many chapters there are, but I'm on chapter 5.
Okay.
And so it's an excellent bit of storytelling. I think it's got a lot of interesting little references to some of the novels that we all read as kids. There's some Brer Fox references in there, Brer Rabbit. I don't have to read up on the Weavers. That's some Southern lore that I'm not familiar with. But I think the storytelling is really good. The music sets the tone really well. Like as you're going, it kind of transitions between, there's a little bit of jazz, there's the New Orleans funeral dirge type music, mix in some bluegrass. There's one sequence. So you essentially are going from place to place to place, healing people's past traumas with the Weaver magic, right?
Yep.
And so there's a scene where the song is singing about what happened to cause this person's trauma, and really just kind of pulls you in and makes you feel it a little bit. So I think that's really enjoyable. I think the voice act, yeah, the voice acting is good. I think there's some points where some of the actors that are trying to affect that sort of Southern Louisiana Bayou accent are just not quite pulling it off, and that can pull you out of it a little bit. Okay. But otherwise, it's pretty good. And it's fairly straightforward gameplay. There's nothing overly taxing about it. The leveling tree is, you essentially have a hopscotch board of abilities. I think there's like 10 spots on the board, and then you can power up each of your 4 abilities. There's not a lot of choices to be made in terms of what type of, it's not Skyrim or recent or Baldur's Gate or Assassin's Creed level of, or what type are we going to be? A hunter? Are we going to be an assassin? Are we going to be whatever? I'm enjoying it. I'll finish it a little bit at a time.
Yeah, it's my understanding is it's like 8 to 10 hours long. It's not a super long game.
Yeah, about that.
Which I think when I hear 8 to 10 hours, I usually pad it probably 12 hours ish for me. I agree with you. I love the voice acting so far. I feel like there's a really good dialogue, especially between Hazel and her mom. I thought the back and forth between them early in the game, which you see on screen right now, was just really good, and it just felt authentic. So that the story has some kind of weird twist to it, which I won't get into just to avoid spoilers, but overall, visually, it looks great. I love kind of this stop motion kind of claymation look it has to the game. There's a lot more platforming than I thought there was going to be. That actually kind of surprised me a little bit. Nothing taxing, nothing difficult, but it's part of it. It's part of the gameplay elements that I just wasn't expecting. And I'm with you. The combat, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Hellblade in that you will venture through areas and unlike in Hellblade, you didn't really have a lot of platforming, but here you'll have platforming kind of to get to hubs, and it'll be a combat hub. So you get into an area, you fight the enemy, and then you'll release from the hub to continue on with the story. And it is all very linear. There's not really any divergent areas, so it's going to take you kind of hold your hand through it. But it's a good game, not game of the year for me by any stretch, but it's really a good solid game and a good offering within Game Pass in particular.
What I do like is so you can push a button and it'll give you the weave trail that'll kind of show you where the next objective is. I've very quickly learned that you push that button and whichever way it tells you to go, you go the opposite way, because that's where all the power-ups are.
Right.
Your health power-ups and your ability power-ups. There's none of them that are very far off the beaten path. A little bit of looking around and you're going to find them. So I appreciate that. I've just gotten to the part where a lot of games now love to give you a little tiny sidekick, right? You had Nyx in Star Wars Outlaw, you had BD1 in the Jedi Survivor games. Now you have Crouton in this game, and so you kind of get a little tiny companion that can go explore little areas for you. But I'm enjoying it. I think it's well written. It's easy to play through without having to dig too deep down into the mechanics. So an excellent first day release on Game Pass. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I think we both could say we recommend it. So, and outside of South of Midnight, I know you also have been doing a little bit of, we have the usual suspects. By the way, just moving forward, as a point of order for everybody, I kind of look at it this way. For all the games that we play continuously, I'm not going to worry about pulling video for that. We're not going to spend a lot of time going into that unless we want to speak to something specific. But the newer stuff, things that we haven't necessarily covered as much, we'll spend our time with those games. So I know you've been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows as well. I know we talked a little bit about last week. How has anything changed? Are you still very much enjoying your time with it so far? What's the vibe?
I'm still very much enjoying it. I just love the way they've captured the colors and the scenery. The seasons change, and so you get the cherry blossoms, and then you get the snow, and then you get the rains. And the other thing I'm enjoying, I'm currently playing through Nawe's story. You kind of play it in two timelines. There's sort of the present day, if you will. You kind of go through her prologue and then she starts her quest. Okay. But you find these little meditation spots throughout the map where you can do meditation, and then you play a little flashback to learn a little bit about Nawe's past and how she got where she is. And you're rewarded with some knowledge points to help level up your abilities. So I like that. And I really prefer the stealth gameplay of Nawe. You can complete most of the missions by sneaking past all the enemies, and I like that. That's a nice little challenge to take on, a nice little puzzle to solve. But yeah, still enjoying it very much. Recommend it.
Okay, Mark, is this on your? I know you're a big Assassin's Creed fan in the past.
Yeah. I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. And the last one, Mirage, that went a bit back to the older days of the old Assassin's Creed, and it was shorter, and I really enjoyed that, so I've been looking forward to this. I believe James is buying this on PlayStation 5, so I should have access to it. I need to check if he's bought it yet. It might be a nice freebie for me.
Well played. Well played.
Can't beat the low price of free.
No,
Yeah.
it is one of the best prices ever. All right.
Well, we did go halves on Jedi Survivor last Christmas, I think it was, and I still haven't even started that yet. So,
And now it's on Game Pass.
I was going to say now it's on the Game Pass. So
yeah,
I didn't want to rub it in the, but yeah.
Mm.
Kim.
Yes. Oh.
So, are you still just looking for your next hookup? Is that what's going on?
No, I found
no,
that.
she's still romancing her current hookup.
I mean, that's fine. No, actually, I went and I'm gonna try to keep it spoiler free as I can. I went to actually go save one companion's parent after not taking the devil's deal, and it didn't go as I planned, or as it should have, I guess, went according to the internet. The parent was already expired, and apparently that's not actually supposed to happen, or whatever. So anyway, I had to backtrack to another save so I could try it again. So I'm gonna try, but if I go back and the poor parent is unalived, I think I'll just have to move on, and the companion's just gonna have to deal with it.
So wait, did the game glitch, or
I wonder, because according to all the internet, you should be able to not take the devil's deal, and I say devil, she's not actual devil, but if you played the game, you know who I'm talking about.
But we are talking about Baldur's Gate 3 for anybody who doesn't know.
Yes, if you don't know.
Yeah.
Where the hell have you been for the last 2 months? But anyway, you're supposed to be able to turn her deal down, and you can still go and save their parent, and it should be fine. Well, I tried to do that, and when I got to the place where they're holding him, he was not alive. So I don't know if that's supposed to be a glitch, or if because according to everything I've read on the internet, no, technically I should be able to pull this off, and it didn't work. So I had to go back, and like I said, I had a couple of saves in there, so that saved my bacon, so I didn't lose a lot of pro. Because I've already went to talk to Gortash and half-ass accepted his deal, even though eventually I'm gonna, fuck him over, and Karlak's gonna have her vengeance. But, because he got mad at me when we were going to get the parent, and he's like, no, if you don't turn around now, I'm gonna off everyone. I'm like, yeah, but according to the internet, I should still be able to make it and get down there and save them, yada, yada, yada. Well, then when I got down there and they were not savable, that was slightly disappointing. So, so I went back to my early save scum spot, and we're going to try it again, but if I go through it again and he's still not alive, then I guess we're going to have to move on. I don't know. So I don't know if it's a glitch.
The most powerful spell.
Right. So, yeah, I don't over. Yeah, I don't know. I guess. So, yeah. But I'm having I'm having fun with it. I'm playing it with mods, and I'm also got one run where I'm playing it without mods, and surprisingly, it's not been as difficult as I thought. Well, it was when I initially started the first time. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay. And yes, I'm still romancing the wizard. It doesn't matter which playthrough I'm in at this point. I'm just stuck. So.
Okay. We all did get some sessions in for Call of Duty.
Yeah, we did.
Multiple, I believe multiple. Mark, did you play it also on Friday night?
I was peer pressured into downloading Call of Duty Black Ops. Yeah, but yeah, we did have some fun. I actually quite enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it that much. We had another session on Friday. But the difference is Tuesday night was all custom games, and it was a right laugh.
Yeah.
Friday night, because we had less people, we went online.
Oh.
And some games were okay, but most games, it was a bloodbath. We got annihilated. There was this one guy in particular what kept showing up on the other team. It was called Nitro, and he was called Nitro for a reason, because he kept running around with a shotgun with Dragon's Breath shotgun shells in it. And it was, I don't know what sort of shotgun it was. I think it's like an AA-12, because it was really quick. It was doof, 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 and you're dead. It was shocking. Yeah, so I was getting a bit frustrated with it. But
all right.
Yeah, but good fun though. Good fun. The custom game bits were fun. We had quite a few join in who didn't join in Tuesday. John Mouse turned up. Lewis was there again. Snoogans and his mate Decay popped in for the last round or so.
Right on. By the way, John Mouse,
Jay was
he's still alive?
Yes, allegedly.
Believe it or not,
Yeah.
yes.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to John.
He couldn't talk on his mic, though, 'cause he had a little one next to him.
Okay.
And she was asleep.
Probably why he vanished. When he said he wanted to get back. I'm just saying, John. Just saying. Holding it against you.
Right?
It's all right. It's okay. Not offended. Mark,
when I did the playlist, because I hosted it and I had all the game modes in on the playlist. We did a round of search and destroy. That quickly got taken off the playlist.
Yeah.
I'm
not a fan of those game modes.
No.
Like capture and hold, search and destroy.
I think we ended up with 4 games on the list. Team Deathmatch, Hardpoint, Kill Confirmed, and Domination. That was it.
Oh, and HPV.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Greg's
Who doesn't
HIV.
like a good HIV?
Yeah.
Not HIV, HPV. Very different.
Get it right.
Similar yet different. Mark, you have been playing a game I'm curious about. You talked about it a little bit last time. Still Wakes the Deep. You've actually completed it now.
I've finished it, yeah. So How Long to Beat says it's about 5 hours long. I actually did it in 3.5 hours.
Okay.
And there's not really any side mission stuff. It's all linear story based. But yeah, like I mentioned last week, it's very atmospheric. Graphically, the oil rig looks realistic. It's really good. A really cool story. It's a bit like The Thing, but set on an oil rig. So yeah, really good voice acting. A lot of like northern accents, a lot of Scottish accents. So Kim will like that.
Now,
she likes a nice Scottish accent.
What's the gameplay like? Is it like action or is it?
It's like a mix of walking simulator with a bit of platforming.
Okay.
There's no combat. There's no combat at all. There's a few puzzles.
Okay.
So there's a few puzzles to do. But yeah, a lot of it is like trying to figure out how to get somewhere, because a lot the oil rig is slowly going down, and it's submerging in water. So there's a lot of underwater sections. So, but yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoyed it. Nice short game to fit in between big games.
I mean, what is there like? When you say it's like The Thing, so I'm assuming there's monsters that are you just constantly running from them?
So basically, there's the drill hits this entity under the sea in the North Sea, and then it takes over the people. And like in The Thing, the humans, it like sprouts legs on them. So one of them is like this guy's head, and it's got like legs, and it shoots his legs at you to grab you. Another one is the actual whole body, but it's like it'll use its tentacles to like grab onto things, and it'll move around all over the place. So you have to pick up debris and bottles and spanners in the maintenance area and throw them to distract it for you to get to another bit to do your objective, because you've got certain objectives to do to try save people and save the oil rig and that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good storytelling. And it's a nice short game to fit between.
It looks great.
Visuals
look
visually it looks amazing. The first thing I did was I went in the settings. I turned off the film grain because I don't like games with film grain in it. And once I turned that off, it's just amazing. Like I said, very atmospheric. It's like a lot of these games, like the Resident Evils and Senua's Sacrifice and all that lot. The audio cues and the audio scares you more than the visuals, because you'll hear something and you'll be, oh shit, what was that? You're looking round and you can't see anything. So yeah, it's very creepy. You're on like tenterhooks, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
So play with the lights off late at night.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm out.
I'm
the biggest chicken in the world.
It's not scary like what's that game called? What I played once and then never played again. Oh god, I can't remember what it's called now. Is it Summit Trials? I can't remember. Shit.
I don't know.
It was on Game Pass. I can't remember. Outlast.
Okay.
Yeah, because the second one was called Outlast Trials, wasn't it? Yeah, Outlast. So it's nothing like Outlast. It's not like super scary like that. There's just a couple of little jump scares.
Okay. More creepy than anything.
Yeah, more creepy and atmospheric. Yeah.
Okay.
just really well put together. Nice short game.
All right.
Yeah. We've talked about Call of Duty multiplayer.
Yeah.
So I got some death threats from Kim if I didn't play this. Right, I bought I bought this a couple of weeks ago because it was on sale on Steam.
Death threats. Oh.
And it's Baldur's Gate 3. And I started this, and initially I was like, holy shit, this game is confusing as hell.
Yeah.
But once you get into it, it's not too bad. But for those who don't know, it's an old school RPG, and it's set on the Dungeons and Dragons 5e rule set, and it's basically Dungeons and Dragons. It's got the dice roll and everything. So there's a lot to take in. There's a lot of skills to learn how to use, and you've got so much variation on how you can deal with an encounter. And I quickly learned from both Chris and Kim, save plenty, because you will be reloading a lot.
Yeah. Save's coming for the win. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's visually, it's absolutely beautiful game to look at. The cutscenes are amazing. The voice acting is like second to none. It's brilliant. I can see why Kim's like fallen for Gale, because the voice actors for Gale and Astarion, and they're just amazing. It's just really, really good. It's a shame your own character doesn't speak. They do say a few little things, yeah, but they don't speak the dialogue in the cutscenes. It's a bit of a shame, like that. What else have I put? Yeah, very deep, a lot to learn. I'm only very early into the game, but I've met some of the key characters already. I've met Gale. He's part of my team now. Karlak, I've just met Karlak. Gosh, she's a character. A bit fiery. Literally a bit fiery. Yeah, she's a feisty one. You don't want to get on the wrong side of her. I came across a guy last night called Raphael, and all of a sudden, wow, I won't spoil it, but yeah, he goes completely where you don't expect it to go. So yeah, I've met the hag who Kim was on about. Have you
met the squirrel?
No. I've met a dog. I met a nice little white doggy who his poor owner was dead. So I've befriended the dog, and I'm hoping it's going to meet me at my camp later. But yeah, so the hag situation. The first time I went there, I found her hut because you meet some guys and they say, "Oh, she's got my sister." So you come across this swamp area, and the two guys are dead. The two brothers are dead. And then when you go into the hag's hut, she's Auntie Ethel. She's okay. She doesn't challenge or anything. But then I found this like fireplace, but it wasn't a fireplace. And as soon as I went near that, she changed. And then these fucking red cap things came in and completely wiped my team out. So I reloaded, and this time I've taken out the red cap dudes because they weren't aggressive the first time outside. So I killed them before. So I've killed them, and then it was late last night. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I went to bed. So I'm going to now go in and see if I can take on the hag on her own. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. And try rescue this. Yeah, try rescue this girl now. So
I pulled up the hag fight and put it on screen just for the hell of it.
Yeah, but the first. So when you meet these two brothers, this is how clever this game is. You meet the hag, but you don't know she's a hag. And they're sort of like accusing this woman of knowing where their sister is. And you can side with her or you can not side with her. And I said I used my. I think I think I rolled for checking if I can sense if she was lying, and I think it came back and said you don't think she's telling the truth. So I challenged her, and I said I think you're lying. I think you know where she is. And she got really, really abrupt then and really offensive. And basically says, you don't want to cross me, and all of a sudden she fucking vanished. And I thought, well, that's not going to end well. And I put in the sort of like WhatsApp chat. I think I pissed her off, and Kim said, yeah, I pissed her off too. So I'm thinking, this isn't going to end well. So yeah, so I'm going to try. I won't have time tonight, it'll be too late, but tomorrow night I'm going to try to take on the hag, I think. But yeah, there's a few encounters I've tried, and I've got decimated, so I've avoided them.
Any tips, Mr. Matthew or Kim, for Mark in fighting the hag?
Kim and Chris have been brilliant in the WhatsApp helping with some advice and tips.
Everybody needs your good hag advice.
Yeah.
You're gonna see her again. So and every encounter is different. So good luck.
Yeah, but yeah, combat can be brutal, but it can be really rewarding. I went in this one dungeon and there were some normal dudes who weren't like high level or, and we were all stood around a red barrel, and I'm thinking, video game trope. Red barrel means boom, and I used Shadow Heart to throw a fire arrow thing, whatever it is, fireball. I hit the barrel, killed all 3 of them instantly, and I was really proud of that, and I saved a video and everything. So yeah, really good fun. So there's some very rewarding moments. Yeah. And I met Kim's owlbear.
Kim's owlbear. I like that now.
Yeah. So I the first time I met the owlbear, it sort of like warned me off, but there was an area where there's some loot, so I tried going around it. That didn't end well. And then I found you can get to that loot by going down this crevice wall thing. So I reloaded and went that way then and left the owlbear alone. So yeah, so there's many ways to skin a cat apparently.
We don't say
I
that in front of Kim.
actually talked to the owlbear, so you know.
Well, you adopted the cub, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, eventually.
Yeah, because I've read online that if you kill the mother, the cub eats the mother. So I don't know how that goes.
Well, I didn't do that, so
No.
you'll keep going through the game. You'll
yeah. I'll come across. Well, yeah, I've got a feeling I'll come across the cub again, because the mother was distressed and not. Don't think she was well. I don't know.
By the way, I just want to throw this out there. Kim, there's 2 great things about Kim. One, Kim buys games that go on sale all the time, which I think Kim just buying them, it's the trigger. The other thing Kim does, she has a way of pressuring you into buying games. So she got you to buy Baldur's Gate 3. She got me to buy Space Marine 2. I'm sure there are several others that Kim has influenced the group. The good news is, though, typically speaking, when she does this, they're good games. So
yeah. Oh, she's totally thrown herself into this game. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I may have to join a support group or something. I don't know.
Yeah, support group. I think there needs to be an intervention, Kim. Okay. Looking at the list of games, I think we've kind of got through most everybody. The only other thing I would say is Sniper Elite Resistance. So I started South of Midnight, and then I was like, you know what? I want to finish up Sniper Elite before I fully get into South of Midnight. So I've gone back in. I just got an achievement for a nut shot of over 100 meters.
Oh, 100 meters.
Yeah.
I didn't put it in because I spent an hour on it this morning on the downstairs Xbox, and I got my first testicle shot. Yeah. But it wasn't 100 meters, so I didn't get. I didn't get. I was showing Jenny. I said, "Oh, Jenny, watch this," and she went, "Oh, that's not nice. That's cruel." I says, "The fucking Nazis. What you want?"
There is something satisfying about and honestly, they have non-lethal options in this game. I have not used them at all. If I see a Nazi, I must kill it. And it reminds me of the Quentin Tarantino movie, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it's like, I like killing Nazis.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt.
After Inglourious Basterds.
Yes, Inglourious Basterds. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
After every mission, you get a report on how you did, whether you were stealthy or. Mine's always been top right, full on assault.
Assault, lethal. Yeah.
Yeah, assault, lethal. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So I think I have 2 missions left in the game.
All right. Okay.
It is. It's another one of those games that there are so many different ways to approach getting through the missions that I really. I don't think I've really appreciated the Sniper Elite games as much as I probably should have. Now, maybe this has just been the culmination of them kind of tweaking things and getting to a really, really good game. But this game is quite good, surprisingly so. And I would just say the only thing, words of advice, is firefights are typically not something you want to engage in. You need to be stealthy. Stealth is going to be your friend. You can get into firefights and kind of get away and get through it, but more times than not, if you stick around for a firefight, you're going to die. Which, I mean, I suppose is fairly authentic. So there's that too.
I think is there 10 levels altogether. I think I've just finished level 5. I'm halfway through, and it's the level what you start on as well. But this one's got a tank on it. It's the first time I've encountered a tank.
Yeah. So the tanks. Go ahead. Sorry.
If they target you, they do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And
you can
it
take
took
the
some
tank out.
destroying. Yeah, I did. I made a mission to take that tank out. I used a satchel charge to start with, and it puts a hole in the back. I used some TNT and a few grenades, and then, it took a while, but I took it down.
So you can, just for future reference, take the tank out using your ammunition. As long as you have armor-piercing ammunition, you can hit the exhaust system. That will then kind of blow up the back end of it and expose the engine, and then just a shot into the engine, and it'll take the tank out. I did have a different encounter with the tank where there was actually they had somebody manning the 50 cal on top.
All right, okay, yeah.
Sniped the guy off the top.
Yeah.
And then the tank just like stops and it's like looking for me, and then I just kind of made my way around it to take the tank out. But it is satisfying. It is satisfying.
Yeah.
Just this is one game where I openly look for enemy combatants just to they may not have anything to do with my primary mission, far off in the distance, but if I see them, I must kill them.
Yeah.
So
I always every level I've done all the submissions, all the side missions, all the collectibles. I'm a bit obsessed with doing everything in each level. So it's taking me about 40 minutes per level.
This feels like an appropriate time, by the way. Boomer says, take out the alarms. He's absolutely right. But let's give a shout out to the chat, Kim. We've got some people in there. I just noticed.
Yeah.
We've been paying no
Lord.
attention to them.
Right. Well, you haven't, but I have.
Yes.
Anyway, Lord is in there. He just showed up. And before the show was over, so good job, Lord. Boomer's in there. And of course, playing skills, Luis was in there, or is still in there. So there you go. That's it. And I mean, it's been a good chat. We've all been very chatty. So there you go.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
All right, now everybody get settled. Get away from the windows. Now look, good. It's time for the quiz. Yeah, you know what? Oh, too bad. Tough.
Too bad.
Mr. Matthew.
All right.
You volunteered for this.
I volunteered.
I know, right?
Oh, it's all my fault. So here, we're gonna do this a little differently this week. I have picked 3 games from a year, but I'm not going to tell you the year.
Okay.
So we're going to go through the 3 rounds, and then you're going to guess the year.
The bonus is the year. Clever.
And I'm going to subtract however many years off you are from the right answer. We'll figure something out. I'll give you some bonus points for getting closer.
Okay.
We'll wing it. And I've made some notes for unless somebody wants to raise their hand and go first.
I can be the guinea pig.
Perfect, because I wrote your name down first anyway. All right. All right. So the first game, and I've picked a PlayStation 4, a PC, and an Xbox One just to kind of keep everything, keep all of our people happy. So the first game is Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PlayStation 4.
Okay. Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PlayStation 4. Now, am I supposed to guess the Metacritic score and the year?
No, just the
year
Metacritic.
last.
Just the Metacritic score for now. We'll guess the year at the end.
Okay. Metacritic score for Red Dead Redemption 2 on PS4. I'm going to say 92.
Right,
Red Dead
Greg
Redemption
says,
was received very well. I think the PS4 version was solid, so yeah, I'm going to say 92.
All right. So I have Mark written down next. So let's see what Mark thinks.
I know a lot of places reviewed this highly. IGN was 10 out of 10. GameSpot, I think that was 10 out of 10. This has got to be high 90s. I'm going to say 95.
Mark says 95. And what does Kim think?
96.
96. You're going to Price is Right, Mark.
Ooh, nice. I like it.
Well, Kim made a good choice in Price is Righting Mark because the actual answer
98.
97.
97.
No, 97.
Yes.
Oh.
97 on the
Kim
PlayStation
snuck
4.
in there.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, well done.
She was obsessed with Arthur Morgan, like she is with Gale.
Yeah, she was.
I kind of was. I
Sometimes
You know
the
what I like?
obsession pays off. Sometimes the obsession pays off. There you go.
It doesn't. But anyway.
Okay, the next game in the queue is Fallout 76 on the PC. And we're going to go around the room. So, Mark, we'll have you go first on this one.
So, does Metacritic have a scores when it first released, or do the scores adapt as time goes on? Because I don't know.
I mean, it will adapt if there's additional reviews.
I'll say that I pulled the score this morning.
Right. Yeah. I don't know on Fallout 76. I know it had some issues when it first launched, did it? A lot of people complain about content and stuff, and some of the online stuff. I don't know. Oh no. I'm just gonna go with my gut feeling and say 80.
80. All right. And keeping in the going in the same order, Kim, Fallout 76 on the PC.
I'll say 84.
84 from Kim. And what do you think, Greg? Fallout 76 on the PC.
This is going to be a bit on the nose. I'm going to say 76.
Oh, I like it. 76. You were all very generous because Fallout 76 was not well received and received a 52. 5-2.
Oh.
Wow.
Jesus.
And that makes me feel a little bit bad because I've sunk a lot of time in Fallout 76.
But it's like not as like No Man's Sky to that effect, but I know it has evolved a lot and it has improved, hasn't it?
Yeah,
100%. They didn't give up on it. They kept improving and improving. So
I knew it was rough. I didn't think it was that rough though. Wow.
That's rough for a series as well loved as Fallout. I was surprised to see that one that low. Okay, and rounding out the quiz, Sea of Thieves on the Xbox One. And we'll start with Kim this time.
Okay. 86.
Kim says 86 for Sea of Thieves. And coming around the horn, Greg, what do you think?
I'm going to go 82.
82
I think it was decently received. I don't recall it being like, I think this again is one of those games that kind of really grew into itself. So 82, yeah.
All right. And then last word, Mark, Sea of Thieves on the Xbox One.
I remember this had a lack of content, but it was well received, and the cartoon style graphics and that, it was enjoyed by a lot of people. A lot of people embraced it. I know Phil did, but it had a lack of content at launch. So I'm gonna take a punt and say 79.
79. Once again, overly generous from the crew. You're a very positive crew. 69 for Sea of Thieves on the Xbox One. Okay, so as we're at the end of regulation, we have Mark at 40, Kim at 50, and Greg at 42. So it's close.
It's close.
It's close. So want to have each of you. We'll just go right back to the same order. Guess the year, and I'm going to add the difference to your score. So the closer you are, the less it'll hurt you. Year, Greg.
Year, Greg. God. I'm going to say, man, 2015.
Greg says 2015. Quick beer math. All right. Mark?
As soon as you said Red Dead Redemption 2, a year popped into my head, and I wrote it down right early on. 2018.
2018 from Mark. Quick beer math. Kim.
Pretty sure it is 2018.
Kim agrees with Mark. It is, in fact, 2018.
Because it is Red Dead Redemption 2. So.
Yeah. I think the having it on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One also kind of hones it in on a certain time. So the final standings then, with the win this week, is Mark at 40 points. Coming in second is Greg at 45 points and Kim at 50 points. All of you with nice round numbers, which pleases people like me who have to have their stereo set to an even number. Because if it's on an odd number.
Oh, you like that, yeah? In the car or at home, yeah. It has to be on I can't do an odd number. Not for volume anyway.
It depends on it's either an even number or it has to be a multiple of 5. There's no telling what mood I'm in on that given day. Yeah.
I thought it was just me.
No. There's many of us, Mark. Many of us. Call us Legion, for we are many. So well done on the quiz. 2018 Metacritic Madness.
I like the bonus idea. That was good.
Yeah, Mr. Matthew, you may be taking over this segment based on that fantastic version.
I've got a couple other theme ideas, so I'm happy to run a couple Metacritic Madnesses for a little while.
All right, cool.
All right. Now on to something completely different.
Here is the fucking news.
It's like well done, Mr. Matthew. Just a nice lead in. That worked well. All right, we've got just a little bit of
seasoned
news.
pro, isn't he?
He is a seasoned pro. He is a seasoned pro. And speaking of being a seasoned pro, we actually will talk a little bit about Bungie announced and revealed the first gameplay for Marathon. They also included the game release date. So the game is described as a team-based extraction shooter. Players play as a mercenary who has given up their human form for a biosynthetic shell with unique abilities and stats. Players from the crew of 3 battle against up to 18 other players in each zone. And the game will be released September 23rd, 2025. So not too far away. And no price was given. But the game was described by one of, I guess, the leadership team as a premium experience. So that, I think, leads most people to think, I'm going to pull up a little video of it. Most people to think of it as a $70 price tag game. It's not going to be free to play.
So it's basically Destiny 3 then. Destiny 3 multiplayer.
Yes and no. So this is the gameplay overview trailer that's up on screen. It's got a very unique aesthetic to it. I don't know I get on with this aesthetic.
Wasn't Marathon Bungie's first game years ago?
Yes. It was. I think it was released on the Apple, an Apple iMac, or not iMac. It was just a Mac at the time. I don't know how to describe the aesthetic on this game, but it's cartoony in a way. I don't know. As I'm giving it a second look now,
it's like blocky cell shaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I'm up for an extraction shooter. I think that's probably the bigger question for me, is if I'm gonna really, because that's what it's being described as, is to be an extraction shooter. But there's going to be single player element to this, but I have a feeling it's going to be like Destiny, where you have this kind of story that you can kind of play through, but it's really going to be just multiplayer with some, goals in mind of kind of getting through the story. Anybody excited for this game?
Not really.
Looking at everybody's faces, and I just see blankness.
I think it looks kind of interesting. I do wonder, you talk about kind of the low res, everything's a little bit blocky. I wonder if that's a compromise they're making to reduce server lag. Because I was reading up on, like, Black Ops 6 looks amazing, with all the shaders and everything. But one of the constant criticisms of it is the high lag in the game. Mm-hmm. And I know all the graphics are rendered client side, but I just wonder if this isn't something they're doing to give you a little more real time with the people you're playing against. Although that menu looks atrocious on that screen.
I mean, hard to say. I will be willing to see more before I pass full judgment.
Right.
I don't know.
I think it all depends on how it plays as well, the fluidity of it and the gunplay. If a gameplay is really good, it'll do well.
Well, and see that's the thing though.
And Destiny was brilliant.
Yeah,
so.
I trust Bungie with their gunplay. So
yeah.
This makes me. I'm just really on the fence with it because aesthetically, I don't really care for it. It is interesting as you characterize it, Mr. Matthews, but I mean, I'm not sold, and so
Right.
I don't know.
I just hope it's not as grindy as Destiny, because I liked Destiny at first, but then when it come down to having to get all the stuff, the components you needed to upgrade and whatever, you needed too damn fucking much of it. It eventually, I guess, got tired of grinding it out. So
my youngest played Destiny 2 for a long time, and I saw him starting a new character one day. I was like, what are you doing? And he explained that I guess they set a new base power level for new accounts. It's like, it would take me so long to get my original character to this power level. I'm just starting a brand new character. I was like, all right, there you go.
Well, that's pretty funny.
Right.
I think there's been that many updates to Destiny 2 now. Yeah, it's got so convoluted and to get one of your existing characters up to scratch is just a nightmare. So
yeah, well, we shall see.
I know.
The good news is we don't have that long to wait. September
all right.
23rd.
What's the release date? Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, all right. So from Bungie's marathon, we go to another new release. Ish. Naughty Dog has released The Last of Us Complete, a 2-game compilation for PlayStation 5. The collection, which features both The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2, remastered, is available from today digitally at $99 or £94.99 pounds sterling, with a physical version available for pre-order on the PlayStation Direct website. Mark, have you put your pre-order in?
No.
Are you sure?
No. Yeah. No. I've played both games. I love both games. I've played The Last of Us on the PS3 originally when it first came out, and it was my game of a generation. I played the second one.
Aside.
Yeah, I played the second one on PS4. Fantastic game. A lot different to the first game. Shock moments in the first bit, which I can't wait to see what happens in the TV series because it's going to upset a lot of people. But yeah, amazing games. But I've not bought the remasters. I've only had the original ones. I don't think I've actually ever bought a remaster.
Yeah, Sony would like you to. If you buy their remasters, that helps them fund new games, Mark.
I've bought GTA 5 on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and the PC was upgrades for the later generation consoles, and there was a remaster on PC, and I did buy that when it was on sale.
Well, wasn't that when you were going through your midlife crisis of wanting to play a job on the game?
No, because that was role playing. So that's going back 5 years. So I kept seeing streams of people playing GTA 5 role playing, and it's a mod you download called 5M.
Mm-hmm.
So it uses the base game, but then it uses a mod to obviously alter it. Yeah, and I got right suckered into that. I got a job as an aircraft mechanic initially. Then I joined the police force as a police dog, as a second character. So yeah, that was interesting. But it was good fun. It was a good laugh. I met some nice people on there. But I had to give it up because it was taking over my life. Every night was coming up. And if you don't play it a lot,
right,
then it's like a clique, you know what I mean? You got to get in with people and that. If you don't play it regular, then you got a problem. So
a police dog without a policeman. I'm just saying. You're...
And at the time, my PC was struggling with it. My old PC back then was an old i5, and it only had a 1066 graphics card, 1660 graphics card, and it was struggling with it, and it kept crashing a lot. So I thought, you know what, sod it, I'm gonna cut
All right,
record.
random question for you.
Yeah.
Going back to playing as a police dog.
Yeah.
Did they put you in the back of the car?
Yeah.
So you had to wait for them to let you out?
You sit in the seat. Yeah, you couldn't open the door yourself. You technically could. You technically could open the door, but then you'd be breaking the role playing thing. So you had to wait. And I couldn't just go off on my own initiative and like bring a. If I saw a bad guy, I couldn't just run off and bring him down. I had to wait for the officer I was assigned to tell me to go get him. Yeah. Oh, but take it really seriously. You don't want to upset these people.
I don't think I could handle that. That's
you can't break character. Like when I first started, I'd never done it before. And when I was playing as the mechanic, I'd mentioned something in the real world, and you can't. You got to say in your head. So in your head, you thought this. We take it really.
Did you ever have to utter the words "Yes, mistress"? I'm just curious.
No, because you know why, Greg? Dogs don't talk, and it's role playing. It's real life. Right.
All right.
You can push the talk, right? Real, and like I've got the soundboard.
Yeah.
Boy. I had dog sounds, and I used the soundboard. So I used to have different barks, different things. I used to growl. I used to bark. Happy bark. Bad. So, anyway, move on.
Moving on. Well, actually, I'm going to skip over to the next story just because this is pertinent to The Last of Us. HBO has announced The Last of Us has been renewed for a third season. So in a statement to Variety, alongside the renewal announcement, co-creator Craig Mazin said, "We approach season 2 with the goal of creating something we could be proud of. The end results have exceeded even our most ambitious goals, thanks to our continued collaboration with HBO and the impeccable work of our unparalleled cast and crew. The second season of the show hits HBO this weekend, with the first episode being broadcast in the U.S. Sunday night. So as in tonight, it will be
tonight.
out.
Yeah, I think it's in
and
the UK
tomorrow. It will be, actually, no, in the UK simulcast at 2 a.m. on Monday. So 2 a.m. your time, Mark. You can get up and watch The Last of Us season 2.
God. I put it in the chat earlier. Lewis agrees. There's going to be mega fallout with a certain demographic who like to look at a certain person.
Assuming they hold true to the story.
Right. So the first season they followed the game accurately.
Very well. Yes.
So if I follow the second game, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. It does say season 2 will consist of 7 episodes, which will cover some of the second game. The Last of Us Part 2, however,
some of the second game,
and Craig Mason said that it will take 1 or 2 more seasons before the story of the second game is complete. So expect some cliffhanger.
Right, because in the game it happens pretty quick.
Yeah.
So they're going to use creative direction out there.
I think a little bit. Or they're just going to. The other way they could handle this, they might just take their time with certain story elements and stretch those episodes out more. So it maybe the full story of The Last of Us 2 can't be done in just 9 episodes.
Yeah. I'm surprised they did the whole of the first game in one season, to be honest. But they did.
They did.
Yeah.
Here's my other conspiracy theory. They had such great success with the first season, but they crammed the first game into the first season. They thought, well, let's make the second game spaced out as much as possible so we can make even more money with multiple seasons as opposed to just one season. Not to mention it was received really well, so they knew they had the audience. Speaking of audiences, those that are curious about the Switch 2 in the U.S., specifically the price. The U.S. price of the Nintendo Switch likely to remain at $450 if the global tariffs from our president remain at the 10% it is currently at. So last week, President Trump announced a blanket 10% tariff on all imports with countries like China, Vietnam, and Japan, although China is not part of that. He said he called those countries in particular the worst offenders. They will be getting a larger tariff. That being said, he put a pause on this on, I think it was Thursday, Wednesday, somewhere in there. Maybe it was Tuesday even. But it's a 90-day pause. It's a 10% tariff across the board to all of the countries with the exception of China. And so since Nintendo imports basically most of its imports come from Vietnam and Cambodia in terms of their hardware, the decision to apply the 10% tariff right now won't have an effect unless they can't come with some kind of deal within 90 days, in which case potential larger tariff could hit a company like Vietnam or Cambodia. So there you have it. Switch 2 fans, for now, feels like things are going to be safe for the launch. Okay. I think we're at the time for new releases. Kim,
Okie dokie.
we have quite a few.
We have a few, yeah, believe it or not. I don't know how many of them are good, but we have a few. Your new releases for April 13th through the 21st are The Fool's Apprentice for the PC on April 14th, Lost Records Bloomin' Rage Tape 2 for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on April 15th as well. The Electrifying Incident, a Monster Mini Expedition, alrighty, for the PC on April 15th. Bionic Bay for the PS5 and PC on April 17th. A Chasmal Fear for the PC on April 17th. A big one for the PS5 and a fan favorite around here, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle for the PS5 on April 17th. Mandragora for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Switch on April 17th. Rusty Rabbit. Not even gonna go there, but alright, Rusty Rabbit for the PS5, Switch, and PC on April 17th.
Could give you a nasty infection, that, couldn't it?
HPV.
Or more. Anyway, find out April 17th. Lunar Remastered Collection for the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, PC, April 18th. Mirage, Ignis Fatuus. That's my best Gale impression, it was terrible. For the Switch and PC on April 18th. I'm assuming that's something to do with magic, I'm guessing. April 18th. Tranquil Isle for the PC, April 18th. Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on April 21st. And those are your new releases. Not a whole lot there that I could see, but one or two maybe.
PS5 fans are going to be in for a treat. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Fantastic game. By the way, apologies to the crew, because I didn't really let anybody weigh in on the Nintendo Switch news. I just assumed we didn't have much to say other than what the news was. So if you have thoughts, I'm open to it. I don't think you do, though.
No.
I feel like there's no thoughts on this. Yep. We don't care about Nintendo. No friendo. That's the core policy of our podcast when it comes to Nintendo.
Right. I don't know. I just can't see spending $450 on something that I already have and I can count on my hand how many times I've probably played it. So for me, shelling out $450 just doesn't very smart.
I'm curious how. Obviously, the enthusiasts are going to buy the Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh yeah, obviously.
So it will sell out at launch. The question is, what's its tail after that? How does it really carry on being a very popular console, or does that price tag really impact a lot of people that are more casual? Because if I'm like comparing the two, Steam Deck now is I think about the same price. I'd much rather have a Steam Deck, just based on the variety I can get. But then again, Nintendo makes some great games, and they're exclusive to the Nintendo platform. So, all right, Mark.
Yes.
We've established now Thursdays is the question. Tuesdays I've been able to be pretty consistent about getting together for our sessions, multiplayer shooting sessions. I think we need to come up with a good name for it.
Yeah, we had quite a few on Tuesday, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a good session on Tuesday.
10 or 11 people. Yeah, it was really good.
So we'll come up with some catchy tagline for it. Tuesdays are like a lock at this point, and I say that I'm probably gonna have a meeting on Tuesday, which will make me late. But so be
we could call it Tuesdays the New Wednesday.
We also do and by the way, Tuesdays 8 p.m. in the UK, 12 p.m. on the West Coast. So figure it out in between there. somewhere in there. I think it's 3 p.m. No, yeah, 3 p.m. on the East Coast. Am I doing my math right? Or is it 2 p.m.?
3 p.m.
Yeah. I need to see the visual clock for me for whatever reason when I'm doing my time conversions. I know it's 3 hours. Simple math. I need to see it. And then double fatal Fridays or femme fatale Fridays, depending upon how Mark's feeling. 8 p.m. Eastern.
A possible double session. So there's an 8 p.m. UK one, and then if Kim's up to it, there's an 8 p.m. Eastern. Central. That is it.
Central. Yeah.
Sorry. Then there's an 8 p.m. Central one if you're up for it, which is about 2 a.m. for me.
I was going to say 2 a.m. your time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be in bed.
We expect you there, Mark.
But yeah, we had a pretty decent turnout on Friday night, so good laugh. Like I said, initially we had to go online because we didn't have enough for a private one, but then eventually we got more and more people, and we ended up doing some private games. And it became a bit of a grudge match between Jay and Snoogans with the rocket launcher. It was quite fun. People getting caught in the crossfire, like John Mouse. He was getting caught in the crossfire, but he found it quite hilarious.
By the way,
good fun.
I don't want to have to ban anybody, but Lewis, you better just start minding your P's and Q's. Just saying. You're talking nonsense in the chat.
Well, if he wants to talk Nintendo and bring Nintendo to the show, he needs to hop on then, doesn't he?
Nobody wants to
talk Because we ain't bothered about Nintendo.
Speaking of talking, though, Mr. Matthew, we have a late Discord question from our friend Corazon.
We do. We had a late entry.
And he was there Friday night as well.
He was there. I think it was. I can't remember if he made it Tuesday. Yeah, we had a good crew Friday. Everybody had fun shooting me, so there we go. But Mr. Commander Corzan's question is: do we find that games are not really changing, and we're just playing the same thing that looks prettier? And how often do you go back to your old favorite genre or games? With a quick follow up. Do you think games and the industry have stalled a bit? What do we think?
I think it's hard for developers now to come up with new ideas because games have been out long enough now that most ideas have been thought up of. So it's hard to be new and have the initiative on something completely different. Although there are some games which have done that. But yes, I don't know.
It's a great question, and I think there's a legitimacy to the complaint of that. A lot of games and developers, I guess really we're talking about developers, are not.
Some developers
evolving.
are lazy.
Well, I don't want to say lazy. There's these developers have high pressure to make games that succeed. So they look
but
at
a lot jump on the bandwagon, don't they? Like with PUBG and the success of PUBG, everyone started doing battle royales.
Yeah.
And then everyone went on to extraction shooters. So there seems to be like a rolling theme.
I mean,
but certain games do it really, really well and stand out from the crowd.
Well, and that's where I think it's probably very common to find games that do what they're iterating on what's been done already, right? I mean, Call of Duty, it was the blueprint for shooters, and ironically, Halo was kind of that was the game to be all end all, right?
Yeah, well, that was the first decent shooter on console with a controller, wasn't it?
And
to use a controller to the best effect.
And then Call of Duty came and took its lunch. And Call of Duty has been like the de facto, like that is this gold standard. And then you have games like, Destiny, which really, they iterated on Call of Duty, the first person shooter. They really kind of took the kind of aim down sights, first person, genre of shooting, but then they gave it, that kind of coat or a coat of paint that, gave you the pellets of upgrading and gaining new gear. And that has become, everybody's now jumping on that. I do look at games like Indiana Jones and The Great Circle, and I think that really is doing something different. It is a first-person game, but it blends third-person into it. And shooting, honestly, is not the main mechanic of that game. It's the last thing you want to be doing, to be perfectly honest. So I found that very refreshing. It approached the gameplay of a adventure game very differently than most, which are just, let's face it, you're a murder simulator. You're going out, you're killing everybody. That's become the action adventure game for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at Sniper Elite.
Like Atomfall, rather than using the box standard quest system, it uses leads. And like I said before, many leads can lead to the same quest. And I thought that was slightly different how it did it. And I thought that was quite a new initiative.
Yeah.
So part of Jeff's question there, is there any games what you guys like always go back to? One for me is Division 2. I'm still always going back to that. I still love that. And I haven't played it for a while, but at one point I was playing a lot of, is it Breakpoint? The Ubisoft one? I loved that. I absolutely loved that game.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't mention Halo, I would be like, yeah. I mean, I go back to Halo. And I think it's because of the creativity that happens with online multiplayer games. So that is something that you just can't quantify because you never know how it's going to play out. Sometimes it's you're feeling exceptional king of the world, and other times you're like, I suck and I can't do anything right. But that I think goes for any of the the multiplayer. Kim, I know you have made comments many times where you're like, Call of Duty, you feel better about playing that because you just feel more at home there and you have more success.
Right.
So I think those are kind
Thursday, and then I didn't do really great at all. But yeah.
I mean, turn-based tactics. XCOM. I do go back to XCOM now and then. Although I find myself
I need to finish XCOM 2. Yeah.
Yeah. I just try and find the next best XCOM game to come out. And by the way, it's going to be Star Wars. Respawn is making a tactics XCOM-like game. I'm very excited for that. I don't know, Mr. Matthew, what do you think?
What I find interesting, I think if you go back and look at some games from 10 years ago, you might find that we haven't improved in terms of graphics as much as we think. I think that's what makes room for something like a South of Midnight, right? We were talking about that earlier. It's not an incredibly deep game, but it is something that's just a little bit different, just a little bit fresh. It's all things we've done before, but it's just kind of puts a new look to it. Adds some nice music and a nice story, and I like that. I agree with Greg though. The pressure is there to just sell. I think we're on the 24th game in the Call of Duty franchise, right? So just like the movies, right? I've lost count of how many Marvel Cinematic Universe movies we've gotten, and I've enjoyed a lot of them. I really have, but that's what sells, and studios have to make money.
It's interesting. You talk about kind of what we're doing different versus what we were doing, back in the day. I think probably the one thing that has evolved, and it's evolving more, and it is honestly a tribute to Naughty Dog. It's the cinematic storytelling, the actually taking time to create a good narrative game, and not just kind of phone it in. You're actually having professional voice actors now in games, and I think that has really evolved over time because, let's face it, 10, 15 years back, oftentimes you're getting developers in the studio that are voice acting some of the characters and lines because it was a way to save money. But that really, I think, is one element that has evolved, taking time to actually create a quality story, give it direction. But that all said, that always is a wrapper around likely a game mechanic that's going to involve shoot, kill. Outside of getting into genres like racing or sports games, but I mean the action and first person shooter genres all revolve around basically shooting. Even, I mean, you're hard pressed not to find that. So, I don't know if we answered your question well or not, but it was a great question. I for one am excited for more games like kind of like a South of Midnight that are exploring unique settings, but the storytelling is key for me.
Yeah, a few games over the last couple of years what tried to break the mold were all storytelling ones. So you had like Life is Strange, then you had the Telltale games with The Walking Dead, and they all tried something different, and they all worked, and they were all mainly storytelling franchises. Developers do try to do something new, but it's so hard now because it's like movies, isn't it? They started remaking old movies now because they're running out of ideas.
Yeah, and you know, and to your point, Mark, you know, you think about, you know, they do make these efforts to do something different, and yet a lot of the media outlets will then slag on them because, you know, there's not enough action, and it's not, and also gamers. I mean, we cry we want something different, we want it to be better, we want it to be different, and then when we get better or different in the eye of the developer, the gamer says, well, no, I just want Call of Duty.
Right.
So, all right. Well, yes. Coruscant, thank you for the compliment. I don't know if they were great answers or not, but we did our best. But great question. We appreciate it, and we highly encourage others listening. Post your questions. You can post it in Discord. We're there. It's the future.
We're in the future.
We are.
All right. Let's wrap this one up. This is about where I want to be, by the way, folks. Hour 45 minutes, perfect. Well done, kids. Well done.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. Hey, like, subscribe if you haven't already done that.
Shit, I'm a granddad. Fuck.
Oh, God. Here we go. Like, subscribe. Do the thing that his grandkids do. And follow us on social media. We're out there. But most importantly, come back next week. We will be here. We will do a show on Sunday like we do every week. And again, Terra-free, Patreon-free. Two important things. Nothing's behind a paywall for us. We're a public service. We're better than the PBS system though, because there's no agenda here other than just having fun. That's my only political shot for the day. Mr. Matthew, why don't you start the shout-outs? Do you have anybody you would like to shout out?
I'm going to shout out the people who fixed the heat because we got snow in April. Shout out everyone who showed up for Black Ops 6. We had a great time. I'm going to shout out Discord because we're there. We're in the future, and the future is now. And I'm going to give Kim a special mention because, as you mentioned, we're not great at paying attention to the chat. But Kim is good at paying attention to the chat, and that engagement is important. So thank you, Kim. And since I'm thanking Kim, we're gonna let Kim shout out all of her new cats.
I don't actually have any new ones yet.
We don't have enough time for her to shout out all the cats.
Right. It would take forever. Holy shit! My phone just went off because apparently I hit the talk to speak button or the whatever. I was pulling a Greg DeLacy and it like shot up the Shatters list. Anyway, speaking of which, Shatters, thanks Plain Skills, Boomer, Lord, and Corzon for being in the chat today. It's always nice when you guys jump in when we're doing a show because, as CP says, that gives me something to do. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good week this week. It's warm here. It's been nice. Hopefully I get over this damn cold because this is awful. Other than that, I'm going to be playing more Baldur's Gate and I'll pass you over. Take it away, Mark.
I want to thank everyone who turned up Tuesday and Friday for Call of Duty. We had a bunch of fun. I really, really didn't want to install Call of Duty, but I'm glad I did now because we had a laugh. Online, not so much, but with friends, and that's always been the case with online games, isn't it? When you're playing with friends, you have a laugh, regardless of what game it is. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Big shout out to Chris and Kim for all the Baldur's Gate advice. I keep posting in our WhatsApp chat, and I always get really good answers back. So yeah, I'm sorry if I'm bugging you about questions on it, but yeah.
No worries.
And again to Greg for embracing the future. Not that he had a choice. Microsoft took the option out of his hands. So welcome to the future, Greg, and I'll let you take us out.
The future is here. That was a really funny moment. God, I want to say it was Thursday. Thursday.
When I read that message, I absolutely pissed myself laughing.
Thursday, I guess I hadn't shut off Skype on my computer, and so I noticed it was the toolbar. It was active, so I was like, I clicked on it to shut it off, and it's like, welcome to Teams, and I was just like. And they're like, we're automatically, porting everybody over to Teams, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, Mark, we need to embrace Discord much faster than I thought. But that's okay. It's working out great. And it was actually a very easy transition. Probably should have done it sooner. Who knows? But we're here. We're here. We're now. Shout out to the moon. Because yesterday morning, I'm driving to the gym, and the moon was it was gorgeous. 6:30 in the morning, orange, full moon. And so just kind of one of those moments where you just kind of like have that nature moment of just being like, wow. So
you're not a werewolf, are you, by any chance?
No. Not that you know of. Yeah. So shout out to the three of you. Thank you for joining me. It's been a fun show, as always. We'll do it again next week. Same time. Not the same channel. It'll be on Discord this time. And so to that point, if you're listening to this and you want to join our Discords, we have a bunch of them. Thanks to Mark, I think we've got way more than I ever knew we had. There's a bunch of channels in there. Come, hang out, have fun. Join us live during the show, like today.
Yes, please.
It's a good time. It's a good time had by all. Ish. All right, that's it. We're done. We'll be back next week. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same time next week.